other question. Has anyone gotten newsletter yet? Remember the thing like 2 years ago?
I want it. And I've tried putting in tickets complaining that I want it, and they try to tell me how to do it as if I've got it.
Well, it's
I'm
by
like,
invite.
that's the problem? I would do that if I could.
I'm pretty sure it's by invite only, right? That's how
No,
it
it
has.
wasn't.
No.
I've
No,
actually got the LinkedIn newsletter.
Shut
Bizarre.
up.
What?
You want to show the world what it's like because it's so mysterious, or if you don't want to?
It's hilarious because I'm probably the worst person writing articles.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
How did you get it?
I don't know. It just turned up. It said
It just
create a
pops up.
newsletter. I started to write an article and it said get a newsletter, and it was there.
Can you show us what it looks like?
I'm just going to just open it up.
Yeah, it's just a button right next to the publish. When you open the write an article, it's supposed to be a button that pops up on the top toolbar.
Yeah, it was just on the top, on the navigation bar at the top. Yeah.
Judy, no pressure at all. If you wanted to share your screen,
yeah,
you
no,
can.
it's
You
just
can.
going to go to so I'll go to my newsletter and show you. Let's go share screen. Can you see that?
Got it.
So so I've had it. It's great because you get all these subscribers, and you can see I've published 3 articles in the time that I've had it, which is well, 7 months ago. So
when you go to
I'm
home,
not prolific at all. So I'm on it really.
Go to your home button. I'm just curious what it looks like. If you go to home.
On the home page.
You are on the home page right now?
Yeah, this is it. This is that's the home page of this. So that's the link to the newsletter.
So what's your regular homepage look like? So if you go to your regular,
you can't. So on the regular homepage.
Can I ask you, Judy, before you leave that tab, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is your LinkedIn profile URL the --LinkedIn lady with the numerical behind it?
No, it's my name.
Okay.
The URL is Judith Parsons.
Okay.
But I know where you're coming from because I actually did apply still as the company page, but I am waiting for LinkedIn to come and say, oh, you can't use it, but they haven't yet, so I'm carrying on with it.
So what happens when you click on your home button?
So on my home page is just...
And click write an article. I'm just curious.
Oh, right, okay. Write
an article, and then does it allow you to put that into,
okay.
It automatically goes in to the
LinkedIn lady. Okay, see the thing on the top there that pushed in?
Oh, that's the default, huh?
What's the drop down choice? Oh, look at this. How often?
So you can give it a name, how often you can post, or how often you want to publish.
Can I screenshot that? I just want to see.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I want to get famous.
What's really cool,
I want to get clients from LinkedIn.
Bruce Johnston got this early on and has been using it very successfully. What I think is the coolest part of this is that the entire article lands in in your regular email, and you can read the entire article without going into LinkedIn, which I think could be very valuable for a lot of people if their target market's not frequently on LinkedIn. Or
that also means that Google should pick it up.
They will pick it up, but here's the caveat. I've been saying this for a long time. LinkedIn is a rented platform.
Yep.
And when they change the rules, if you have that content that's originating from LinkedIn and then you go to publish it on your website, then Google will suppress it as duplicate content. So
correct.
Even though you'll get the juice in the beginning,
correct.
It is a rented platform, and we know how the rules change.
When you need to get their emails too.
When you download your database, like when you go to download your content, can you download your articles? Will it give you the full?
I'm gonna jump in on that, being a technical SEO guy, and it's the duplicate content issue is blown out of proportion, and all you have to do is see some of the sites that are aggregator sites that have nothing, that actually have a huge amount of duplicate content, to see that that's not an absolute, but wherever you put it first is going to have the most Google juice.
Yep.
So, but don't use that as a reason not to do it. You just probably want to publish it on your own site first, even if it's by an hour or two.
And maybe submit the URL to Search Console.
Does it suppress
However-
it though? Would it
However, if you want to build up followers and stuff like that, then put it on LinkedIn, because I know a guy that got 500,000 views on a LinkedIn article that got picked up by Google, and it just he wound up getting tons and tons of followers just off of that one article. Now that's
Wow.
an
Who just crushes it with Medium articles, you know.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
the other strategy you can do, and again, this is something that Google says, you know, I mean, you'll hear people say this doesn't work, but I know for a fact it does, is that you can publish it on LinkedIn and then say this article originally appeared here and backlink to the one on your own site.
But don't you get penalized for the duplicate content? Like
No.
There's no
title,
penalty.
There's no penalty. There's no penalty. There are quality guidelines that if the whole site is just like scrape duplicated content, but even that is questionable, because I mean, you take a site like Social Media Today that is just an aggregator.
Yeah.
I mean, and Social Media Today is an aggregator of stuff people publish on their own sites first.
Okay.
So if the quality is there, if the quality is there and is relevant to its audience and it has other good search metrics, there is not an overt penalty for any given piece of content being in multiple places. I mean, syndication is how, I mean, look at how many things there are, look at how many articles there are that are shown on, say, Market Watch and Yahoo News, or, you know, I mean, Market Watch stuff is syndicated in multiple places. I mean, it's actually a very, very common practice, and it got panned a while ago from people who were doing other questionable SEO practices, but syndication of an article and having it published in two places, it does not produce a penalty.
Okay. All right. That's good to know, Scott, because I thought it did. So
That's one of those one of those things that got kind of bandied about in the SEO world for a while without people quite understanding exactly what was going on.
So what happens if you have like some content on your blog and you want to move some of those articles to LinkedIn? Can you publish them all on the same day? Does that look weird, or do you have to space them out? So if you take some of that content, you've got some good performing articles, and you say, okay, I want to add these now to my LinkedIn profile, and I want to put the full content there, or at least, you know, most of it. Does it matter if you do it all at once, or does it look really, you know?
Does not. Well, okay. Again, there's no penalty for that, but there is a reward for sustained content production.
Okay.
On LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
Well, on whatever the source is. So yeah, in terms of it being your stuff being on LinkedIn, no, I guess that's probably not going to be as relevant on LinkedIn. Now that shouldn't matter on LinkedIn, because it's not really going to identify like your collection of articles on LinkedIn as a site. I mean, it will know. Google is big on tracking authorship now. Mm-hmm. And so if you're, you know, they used to formalize it with, they did the whole Google authorship thing a few years ago, and now they figure it out through the various web of interconnectedness. But there's no like authority to your collection of articles like there is for a domain or a website. So on your website, it matters to spread it out. Okay. Because that helps build, you know, your website as a that's something that's getting sort of constant fresh updates. But LinkedIn itself always has fresh content updates. So that's not really going to be a factor. That shouldn't really be a factor in your LinkedIn SEO rankings.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Scott.
Mm.
It would be prudent for whoever is doing publishing on their website or as a LinkedIn article or newsletter, if it's going to be indexed in a search engine, to pay attention to the views wherever the analytics are available. So like if you have articles on your website, I would recommend, like if you're going to do a very similar newsletter or LinkedIn article, just take a quick look or a snapshot of that page's impressions and click-throughs and ranking in Search Console, just in case you have a problem, you'll be able to identify it, like just in case. Might be smart.